So Deontay Wilder went from the B side to arguably the A side against Anthony Joshua as far as negotiations, as far as leverage, as far as popularity, etc., etc. And these are facts, not fictions. People are talking about Wilder knockout over Brazil to this day, more than they talking about Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz. Matter of fact, Anthony Joshua is talking about Deontay Wilder right now more than he talking about Ruiz. Every video you find of Anthony Joshua, he spent 30 seconds talking about Ruiz, and the rest he talks about Wilder mainly, and then some other topics on the side. And that's because Deontay Wilder is a hot topic. He brings excitement and money to the heavyweight division. And even when he goes on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith admits that he'd rather watch Wilder and he's not interested in watching Tyson Fury fights because he's boring. And funny enough, Tyson Fury fights on ESPN and Wilder doesn't. And that's due to the fact that when Wilder fights, especially in New York, he make the arena go nuts. On TV, his knockout, he gets like 10 million views on CBS. On Instagram, he all over the place. Let's not even talk about how viral he went on that. And also on Twitter, how many retweets they retweeted his knockout. So whenever World Star stop posting your knockouts more than once, that's how you know you went too viral. And that's why in order for this fight to happen, the split got to be 50-50 to start with, because Wilder already let it be known we're not going to negotiate playing around. And Eddie Hearn still out here playing around, trying to control the narrative, like I said, which is silly. At this point, we know you are a hypocrite and you contradict yourself daily. And you can't change the fact that Wilder is the most popular heavyweight, and matter of fact, the most popular boxer today, even more so than Anthony Joshua. Wilder is the biggest star in boxing according to ESPN. And these are facts. Now, can Anthony Joshua catch up to Deontay Wilder? No doubt about it. Anthony Joshua was such a big star, had a lot of potential, and he still do. And he could still manage to pull it off, and maybe he could upset Wilder if they do fight, right? But Anthony Joshua, coming from the UK, he had the looks, he had the charisma, he had the skills, at least according to the eye test. But you don't take none of that for granted, because you turn your back on the fans, they turn their back on you. You know, and that's what he did basically when he turned down the Wilder fight like 5 times. So Wilder, being the fighter who wasn't making as much money as Anthony Joshua, well, at least according to Eddie Hearn, but you can never believe Eddie Hearn, you know what I'm saying? He be saying Anthony Joshua been making 20 million off the bat, which is not true. He's just been making that recently. Eddie Hearn also stated that he be selling out every time he fights. That's not true. They be giving out mad free tickets. And that's why they had to come to the US early, because Anthony Joshua is now losing steam. He was supposed to fight, I think, Dylan White in April in the UK. They even booked a stadium for that, right? But what happened? Why couldn't he just fight a Miller over there if he's such a big star and sell out? Why couldn't he fight Ruiz and fight over there and sell out? Because he need a big name in order to do so. He can't do it by himself. That's why he had to come to the US ahead of time. This wasn't in the plans for him to fight in New York. He didn't want to come to the US this early. He had to. Not too long ago, he was saying he want to bring boxing to the UK. What happened? What happened to them plans? But like I said, he lost steam as soon as he ducked Wilder, because fans saw through that bullshit. Out here making all type of excuses, contradicting yourself, lying to the fans, acting like you want to fight, but you don't want to fight. So his own fans got fed up with that shit. Eddie Hearn's lying left and right, makes up a lie one day, get exposed the next day. hop on to another lie to cover up the last lie, so people caught up to that. Meanwhile, Wilder, on the other hand, after he tried to fight Anthony Joshua, and he was willing to lowball himself, and he was finna take $15 million to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK, but then Eddie Hearn went and paid the WBA to go ahead and mandate Povetkin to fight Anthony Joshua, which is like, really? You finna fight a drug cheat who haven't proved nothing? Who just came off a failed drug test instead of unifying all 4 belts with Wilder? And Wilder took a low ball offer to come fight you in the UK, and you still did that to him? So after that, he started losing steam, like I said, and Wilder started gaining steam, especially after he fought Ortiz, the boogeyman that Anthony Joshua avoided at the time. Anthony Joshua ducked Ortiz at the time, and Ortiz was the boogeyman, period. Wilder fought the man and knocked him out. Then he went on and fought Tyson Fury. You thought Tyson Fury won, or you thought Wilder knocked him out? Either way, it was a close fight. Wilder did knock him down for more than 10 seconds. That's a knockout in my book. The referee let it go on. So it's okay, you know what I'm saying? We looked out for Tyson Fury over here in the US. You know what I mean? Because unlike the UK, we ain't finna rob nobody. Matter of fact, we looked out for Tyson, right? So Wilder is becoming this huge star, gaining popularity. Even when Tyson Fury got up from that and went on, that boosted Tyson Fury popularity over here. And then he got an ESPN deal out of that, but then ended up ducking Wilder on the rematch, right? Then Wilder went and knocked out Brazil. And like I said, Wilder, every time he gets a knockout, it just goes viral. I mean, it's just lethal. That right hand is just an eraser, like Dontae likes to say. So while Wilder's stock is rising, Anthony Joshua's stock is falling. And till this day, it's still on the same cycle. Wilder's gaining more popularity while Anthony Joshua losing popularity and losing respect because people don't believe in him. And the fight went from 60-40 split to Anthony Joshua's favor. He didn't want to offer Wilder 40 split, obviously, but he offered the unknown Parker 34%, but he wasn't willing to offer the longest reigning champion of the world 40%, right? And now it should be a 50-50 split. And if anything, it should be a 55-45 split to Wilder favor. But we ain't even gonna go there. We're just gonna stick with 50-50, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's what happened when you play with the fans. You choose to duck and pick and choose fighters that you want to fight that's good for your style, and that's not gonna make you look bad. And you never know, because at the end of the day, it's gonna fire back at you. And that's what happened basically to Anthony Joshua. So when Eddie Hearn says Anthony Joshua really wants to fight, but Wilder team acting funny or whatever, you know what Wilder team want. They already told y'all. They ain't finna waste their time again to talk to y'all if y'all not acting right. So if it ain't a 50-50 split, don't even come to the table. Wilder already stated this before. He already told Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, I ain't finna waste my time. I'm letting y'all know what I want on an interview. 50-50 split, or we ain't even gonna talk. Because I ain't finna waste my time. And Eddie Hearn keeps saying, oh, they this, they that. Do they really want the fight now? Nah, they want the fight, but they ain't finna deal with your bullshit, like I said. If you already know what they want, why you want to waste their time? Come to the table with the right split, and then y'all can start negotiating the other stuff as far as the rematch, as far as where it's going to be, and all that. It's a lot to negotiate. It's a big fight. So they ain't finna waste their time talking to somebody who want to come to the table offering 30% split. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's silly at this point. Wilder knows what he's worth, and he ain't finna lowball himself anymore.
And obviously, Anthony Joshua needs Wilder more than he needs him at this point. And it's Anthony Joshua who gonna go down in the history of boxing as the fighter who committed the biggest duck in the heavyweight division of all time by asking $50 million and then turning around and saying he ain't willing to come to the U.S., but he willing to come to the U.S. to fight Miller, right? By giving Wilder $15 million and turn around and fighting his mandatory instead. You know what I'm saying? So Anthony Joshua is at a bad spot, and like I said, roles are reversed. Now Wilder's basically the A side, and Anthony Joshua is the B side. It's Wilder who's going viral every time he knocks somebody out. It's Wilder who's receiving awards. It's Wilder who's 34th most famous athlete today. And it's Anthony Joshua who's 63 most famous athlete today. So we know what time it is. It's time for y'all to go to school. And no, we ain't talking about that Eddie Hearn school. Like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about him, and if you're trying to get dumb by the second. Don't listen to these casual ass fans, or go listen to Eddie Hearn and just let him lie to you all day. Peace. We out here.